So number one, struggling to ask for help, feeling like you have to handle everything alone, getting irritated or uncomfortable when people try to help you, feeling like your emotions are too much, relying on others equals weakness, overcommitting and over functioning to prove your worth. Number seven, avoiding vulnerability in relationships. Number eight, feeling emotionally numb or detached. And number nine, experiencing exhaustion from always being the strong one. I want us to burn the red cape,
I don't want
the
to be
super,
right.
burn it, burn it,
Mm-hmm.
burn notice, burn that
Mm-hmm.
red cape. This is
Yes.
killing women, specifically women of color.
Yeah.
We are not
Mm-hmm.
super women. And that strong, anybody call you strong?
I
Ask them
don't
what,
want
what they mean.
Mm-mm.
That,
Mm-mm.
that's not a badge of honor. It is literally increasing our heart rate. It is, it is trying to be the
I
strong
go
one.
up.
It's not a badge of honor because what it does is sometimes it keeps you shackled and chained to have to be strong for the people who calling you strong. What they're saying is you can take it. You can take it. You can take it. And so that can be a challenge. All right. So burn notice to the red, the S on your chest and the red cape. We don't need that. And that S meaning that you have to be the strong one. Okay. All right. And letting people know that no, you need prayer too. Hmm. You know, you need the same kind of support. So these are 10 signs. Put if you have a number and you want to share it, which number is the one that really speaks strongly to you in this season? Number 1 through 9. Which of these numbers speak to you that you want to release?
Uh,
Mm,
there's a couple of
all
them for
right.
me.
Yep.
1 and 8.
Okay, we got 1 and 8. We have a
Okay.
9, a 5, a 4, a 6. All right, there's a couple of them, a 2, 4,
Five
5, 8.
and
Mm-hmm.
two.
Okay, 9, we got 5 and 2. I hear you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I want us to think about these things because again, they are not serving us well. And it really puts us in a position where we're missing an opportunity. Again, sometimes when we don't ask, God literally has assigned someone in your circumstance and they have a job to do. And we're not allowing them to be a blessing. The promise of Abraham is that, hey, I'm going to bless those that bless you. And so, how can somebody bless you if we never let them bless us? It's a missed opportunity for them and a missed opportunity for us. So now, 2 signs of hyper independence. I'm going to turn it over to Miss Charm. It's a little blurry. Sorry about that.
Hi, ladies. Let me zoom in. So there are two sides. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, I can see now. There are two sides of hyperindependence. I found this slide because I think it's just really powerful. The things that people see and the things people don't see when walking through hyperindependence. So the first slide is what people see, which is jokes and smiles, socially active, caring for others, being a high achiever, constantly busy, appearing calm, working long hours, and emotionally available.
Mm,
So these are the things that how people perceive you versus what people don't see. Numb and diminished energy, struggling with loneliness, difficulty expressing joy, feeling unworthy, struggling to be alone, constant self doubt, inability to rest and slow down, and distracting from own suffering. So these are the
Hmm.
things internally that hyperindependence can cause us to deal with that people aren't seeing, whether it's at work, in our with our families, just wherever we are. So as it
mhm,
says, like to be aware and beware.
mhm,
Wow.
But these were some biblical examples that I think were just so powerful that God put on my heart. And a lot of us know the story of Martha and Mary, where Martha is just working. And I'm specifically mentioning Luke 10, verse 40, which says, "But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to him and asked, 'Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me.'" And I want to start off by saying that I'm not labeling Martha as being hyper independent. I don't think we have enough evidence in the Bible to label her as that. But I want to focus on her reaction. Her reaction is very, very common among women that are tired. They're carrying the weight of doing everything, whether it's at work, in the household, wherever you are. And oftentimes as women, we will get to a point where people will just, oh my goodness, she's so angry, she's so aggressive. She what my generation calls it crashing. She crashed out. She's yelling and screaming. And that oftentimes is reaching your wits end. Like, you know what? I'm tired of carrying the weight of everything. I'm tired of being a work mule. And when I say that, the definition of a work mule in a corporate setting means you are an employee or person who is silently bearing the heaviest workload. That's what I mean when I say a work meal. And Martha's reaction is very common. It's very common. And I want to focus also on Mary here as well. That for Martha, oftentimes we view someone like a Mary that's sitting just resting. That can be very triggering. I don't know about you, but there have been so many times in my life where I wasn't secure in myself. I was drained. I'm tired. I'm cranky. I'm frustrated. And when I see another woman sitting comfortably in their femininity, sitting comfortably in their anointing, and being comfortable in who they are, that's triggering for me because I want to be that. I want to achieve that, and I haven't for myself. And oftentimes we will take our frustration out on people that have not hurt us or don't know that we're hurting. As we like to say, hurt people hurt people. And I just really, really want to stress the importance of Martha here and her reaction. That once again, we don't label her as a hyper independent woman, but her reaction is very common among hyper independent women and people. That man, seeing someone sitting comfortably, they're resting, they're getting all the relaxation and rest that I'm not getting. And we can start to point the finger and get frustrated. And just sometimes those people around us don't even know that we're hurting, that we need help in that moment. And even in that passage that I read, notice how she says, tell her to help me. She's not talking to Mary, she's talking to Jesus. So in that moment, Mary may not even know that she needs help. She's not even addressing her. And how many times do we do that as well? We won't even address the person that's triggering us or has broken a boundary or is frustrating us. We'll talk about them behind their back. We'll talk about them in our diaries or wherever. We won't ever address the issue with that person. So I just think that's really powerful and how sometimes it can become very unhealthy. But I think a very healthy version of interdependence, which Ms. Jennings talked about, is Abigail. And she's not someone that's normally mentioned a lot in the Bible, but I think she's such a powerful woman of God. I think she's a great example of interdependence. And this is from 1 Samuel 25, verse 19, which says, then she told her servant, go on ahead, I'll follow you. But she did not tell her husband Nabal. So for reference here, this is when David is running away from King Saul. King Saul's trying to kill him. And David has been protecting Abigail's husband's flock of sheep. And long story short, her husband disrespects David, and David wants his revenge. So he goes after Nabal, and one of the servants comes to tell Abigail. And Abigail, in that moment, she used so much wisdom, but she also acted in accordance and went with her servants. Abigail wasn't trying to gather food and get everything together on her own. She was, as you said, Sandy, she was very strategic in the way that she addressed this. She had her servants help her. She followed her servants to find where David was. She used wisdom. And she was humble in even speaking to David and saying, David, I apologize for my husband's behavior. I apologize how he addressed you. I respect you as the future king. And it was also rooted in wisdom. And one thing that God gave me this afternoon is that helping isn't weak when rooted in wisdom. I'm going to say that one more time. Helping isn't weak when rooted in wisdom. It's not weak when it's rooted in wisdom, when it's rooted in the word. And that sometimes, like Abigail, we have to be very strategic when asking for help and who to ask. Notice how in that verse it says, but she did not tell her husband because she knew her husband was immature. She knew her husband was foolish and was not going to handle the situation in a mature fashion. So she went to people that could help her and steward it and help her in the situation. And I think Abigail is such a powerful woman of God, using, once again, her discernment, using her wisdom in the situation. So I just think both these women are absolutely amazing, but in how they address their issues and how they felt in the Bible was very, very different in how they showed up. So I think both these women are absolutely amazing. And thank you for letting me share that.
Thank you, Miss Charm, as always. Definitely giving us that great word. Let me tell you, I love that you chose both of these two women because, man, I see myself in Martha. You know, I see those moments where sometimes we are suffering in silence. And we just think people should know because guess what? We expect people to be us. People don't know. They don't know, and they're not us. And so we do have to, the Bible says you have not because you ask not. Sometimes we don't want to open up our mouth. Faith without works is dead. You got to work your mouth. We say stuff in private, right? So,
Yeah.
so we have to be vulnerable and we have to absolutely use that wisdom, the wisdom of Abigail, to even being strategic. And God will give us the strategy, who to ask, when to ask, how to ask, right? What to say, when to say it. Because God's resource, again, is it flows through his children. So while we say, well, it's just me and God. Yep, but God gonna send his blessings through other people. Okay. All right. So how do we heal from hyper independence, ladies? All right, if you have some strategies,
Start talking.
yeah, if you have some strategies, you can feel free to put them in the chat area, but we are going to go through some things, all right, to definitely discuss heal from hyper independence. We got to honor the survival story. So a lot of times, instead of criticizing ourselves, there's a story attached to how the hyper independence began. And a lot of times it's attached to a trauma. It's attached to the time you asked for help or support, and maybe one of the 5 emotional wounds hit. You were betrayed, you were humiliated, you were abandoned, there was an injustice attached to it, or there was rejection. The 5 emotional wounds. There, it's attached somewhere in that story. And so with that, what is my independence protecting me from?
Can you repeat
Is it
those
gonna,
5 emotional wounds?
yes, the 5 emotional wounds are, the way I remember it as an acronym is B-HAIR. So the B is for betrayal. And there is no protecting yourself from these 5 emotional wounds. From the time Jesus was arrested to his crucifixion, he experienced all 5 emotional wounds. Betrayal is B. H is for humiliation. Jesus was humiliated, stripped him naked, gambled before his clothes, laughed at him, slapped him. Humiliation, right? Then we have A for abandonment. All of his disciples, they were gone, act like they ain't know him. Then we have, after abandonment, there's injustice. Jesus was on trial for a crime he didn't even commit.
Right.
And then the R is rejection. People didn't even recognize Jesus as the Son of God, so they didn't even see him as that. So that's the ultimate rejection. And so with that, a lot of times our independence, you know that if your independence is built on the foundation of a wound, I can't ask for help because my story attached to that is connected to one of the 5 emotional wounds, then we want to do one thing. One, we want to honor the survivor story. One, you survived. And God wants to be able to rebuild your confidence in asking for support. Okay. And we want to make sure we're not judging other people for asking for support because we don't know the whole story. It's easy to say, well, she don't need no support. She's riding around in the Mercedes Benz. Her car costs more than my house. That don't mean she don't need support. Okay. All right. Another lemonade lesson. Number 2, challenge the core beliefs. We have to challenge our beliefs so that if I don't do it, it won't get done. We got to challenge that belief. All right. I have to do everything alone. That's an old belief. Asking for help is weakness. I must always be strong. People always disappoint me. We got to crush that. We got to crush that, and we got to take it to the Lord. Take it to your designer, your designer, your creator, and take that to the Lord and says, this is what I'm battling right here. Lord, you are rich, you are wealthy. Help me to bury these things. Help me to prove that these things are not true. And I love that, Miss Diane, you mentioned that God sent a woman in your life. He will send women in your life to remind you that no, he got so many wonderful, beautiful daughters out here.
Mm-hmm.
You might have experienced some emotional crimes that someone committed against you, but you know what? The new belief has to be healthy people support one another. Find the yes, find the healthy people. Asking for help requires courage. That's the new belief. I'm going to be courageous and asking for support. And support might not be that the person can open up their wallet and give you the financing or the funding or the money, but they can point you in a direction. They can usher you into a room. They can point you to someone else who has a resource or rights grants or whatever, right? Some people are trustworthy and I can learn to discern who they are. This is the prayer. This is the grit prayer. If you can pick up one grit, we from the South. It's hard to pick up one grit. Your prayers need to be that specific, that granular. And tell the Lord, hey, I know that there are trustworthy people out here. Help me to find out where they are, Lord. Give me the wisdom of Abigail to find out where they are, who to ask, and things like that. Strength includes knowing when to receive help. So timing is important as well. God will give you the timing. And when he nudges you to say, hey, ask right now. Ask right now because you're going to get the yes. This person has the yes. We have to know that if a person gives us a no, don't be discouraged. They weren't assigned to give you the yes, but your yes is out there. Okay, Lord, the no, this person said no, so I guess they weren't assigned to the yes. So where's the yes? And that has helped me in my prayer life. Heal for real. These are some other things that we can do with some sweet tea tips. Practice small acts of receiving. Receiving used to be really hard for me. I think even receiving a compliment, y'all. People be like, oh my gosh, you're so, and I'll be like, oh, okay. So being even able to just say thank you when somebody gives you a compliment.
Yeah.
God is using them as a vessel to say, daughter, I see you. Number 2, build safe relationships.
Did you not see me standing in the kitchen?
Yeah,
Uh-oh, I'm gonna mute you, mama.
what's up?
I'm gonna mute you just shortly. Okay. All right. And then number 3, learn interdependence, right? Other individuals who are working on themselves and allowing their individual work, they're doing their work, they're comfortable in their areas of independence, right? And they're going to support you and you're going to support them, whether it's you are assigned to help people, you sell houses, or you are a financial service guru, you help people make their money make money, whatever your gift or your talent is, you're going to support other people in growing themselves in different facets of their independence. Learn, become comfortable with vulnerability. Ouch. Well, I don't want to be vulnerable. Well, that means you don't want to be in any relationships because God is going to require you to be vulnerable. And then heal the wounds beneath the armor. Ooh, the 5 emotional wounds are huge. They follow us. At the core of almost all of your conflicts, I promise you that same wound is showing up. All right. And then I want to pause here on biblical healing. Galatians 6:2 says, carry each other's burdens. And in this way, you will fulfill the law of Christ. We are meant to be interdependent, not islands unto ourselves. And Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 says, it reminds us that 2 were better than 1 because they can help each other when one falls. Man, we are going to have a valley moment. We're going to fall because we're human. And we all need support. None of us is above that. And then reminding ourselves that Jesus accepted help. He welcomes the support of his disciples. He received hospitality from Mary, Martha, and Lazarus at their home. He accepted Simon of Cyrene's help as carrying the cross. So even Jesus modeled for us that interdependence is important. Could Jesus carry the cross by himself? Absolutely. But even that, God was intentional to show us that even God himself accepted help. I'm gonna pause right here. Well, I know we're on time. But any thoughts, you can put it in the chat area, anything that anyone want to share. I just want to make sure I know I'm moving kind of fast on our topic of hyper independence and why it is not what's best for us. Okay. All right. All right, ladies. Well, I'm super glad. Again, dependence, codependence. We have independent and interdependence. As a veteran educator, we really work hard to incorporate interdependence with our future leaders, i.e., our children, because we want them to be confident in what they the table. We don't want them to water themselves down, dumb themselves down, limit themselves. We need you to show up and be your best, most authentic self because it builds up the kingdom. It builds up, I'm encouraged, I learn from you. So that's why that interdependence is important. And so we don't tell children, hey, make your teacher happy and clean up. No, I said, thank you for being a leader and cleaning up after yourself. Thank you for being a community leader and cleaning up after yourself. Thank you for helping the other scholar who's struggling right now and that by supporting them. Thank you for being a community member and a leader because we don't want to build people pleasers. We want that interdependence. We want them to be independent, but we also want them to be community focused as well. And so I hope this topic really supports that. I did want to put out some events for those of you. I'm super excited to be talking about break free from burnout. On Tuesday, July the 28th, for women entrepreneurs, mean business. I'll send this out to you guys. If you're local, anyone wants to come through, we'll be talking about the 4 seasons of your relationship with your job and your work or your business, and preventing that burnout experience. We also have a series called Baggage Claim, where we really talked about the emotional wounds. So it is on our YouTube channel. So if we did wounds and scars. So if you're more interested in hearing about the emotional wounds, it is already pre-recorded and it is on our YouTube channel. So I'll send that out if you would like that. But our next one is August 29th. It's on a Saturday. It's free. You just log into our Zoom and we're talking about, are my past issues and choices defining me? All right. And then we have 2 more master classes throughout the year for that. We do have a plethora of different supports and services. So we're here if you need. And yeah, and if you love to give us a Google review, we absolutely receive it. The Google reviews matter. And so we have the QR code there. I can send that out. It's at the bottom of my email as well.